Hey there. What we're doing today is using the distance formula. So the distance formula is that formula with the square root I have here written at the top of the screen. You can use that to find the distance between any 2 points. If they've given you the names of those 2 points, like here A is one of our points, B is our other point, we can use that distance formula to find the length of the line segment between those 2 points, which would be AB, which I want to write in black, and it's not cooperating. There we go. All right, so a lot like the midpoint formula, we have x2 and x1 and y2 and y1. They work the same way as they did in the midpoint formula. So I'm going to write down our 2 points. A is -2, 8. B is 4, 0. I'm going to label my 2 points. The labeling is the same as the midpoint formula. x1 is the x-coordinate of my first point. y1 is the y-coordinate of my first point. x2 is the x-coordinate of my second point. y2 is the y-coordinate of my second point. I'm going to plug those things into the right spots like I did the midpoint formula. Just notice this formula looks a little more complicated. Everything's inside a square root. We have a couple sets of parentheses. We have some squaring going on. So it looks really scary, but we're actually going to have Desmos do a lot of the work for us. So start by writing out your formula. AB equals big square root. Inside our first parentheses, we have x2, which is 4, minus x1, which is -2, all squared, plus sign in between your parentheses. Next set of parentheses, y2 is 0, minus y1 is 8, parentheses squared on the outside. You could do all this by hand. A lot of times you're going to get some funky looking answers for these. So I would really recommend just do it in Desmos. That's what we have it there for. So I'm going to type everything in the green box into Desmos. Very first thing I'm going to do is put my square root symbol and then start with parentheses. 4 minus -2, close your parentheses. Squared is that a squared button, plus new parentheses, 0 minus 8 parentheses. Oops, too many parentheses. Squared. Notice that the parentheses got bigger as we, or the square root got bigger as we went, which is what we wanted. It does spit out an answer for us. Desmos tells us that the length of line segment AB, or the distance between A and B, is 10. That's all we've got to do. The trickiest part of this is just getting everything plugged into the formula correctly. Let's try one more. So now we are finding the distance between C and D. I'm going to do just like I did before. Oh no, I lost my marker. Hang on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do just like we did before. I'm going to write my points out, my ordered pairs, and I'm going to label them. My first point is x1, y1. My second ordered pair is x2, y2. Since we are finding the distance between C and D, that's the same as finding the length of line segment CD, which we write as capital CD. Let's plug things into our formula. x2 is -5, minus x1 is -4, parentheses squared, plus sign. y2 is 5, minus y1 is 4, parentheses squared. We could do some work by hand. I will tell you this answer is a little gnarly. Let's do it in Desmos instead. So everything in that green box, we're going to type into Desmos. Square root sign, parentheses, -5, minus -4, parentheses squared, plus parentheses 5 minus 4 squared. When you do all of that, Desmos gives you the answer. Desmos said, I did all that square root and its exponents and everything else. When I do that, I get that the distance between C and D, or the length of line segment CD, is 1.41 if I round to 2 decimal places. That is it for the distance formula. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you